The government shut down again. This time it's because the Republicans have been trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and the Democrats want to continue to subsidize people that need that health insurance. And the Republicans are saying, oh, we'll subsidize it later. The Democrats are saying, no, you need to subsidize it now. And because of that, they weren't able to agree. And here's Jessica Tarlov on Fox explaining more.
The point is, if you want to do a deal, if you actually care about people, which Mike Johnson reports,
we hate people.
But Mike
Jessica,
Johnson is still pretending that he does. The ACA tax credits are the crux of all of this. And 21 million of the 24 people that benefit from those subsidies are in Trump states. So he should want to keep them happy.
Yeah, they'll do that around Christmas.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they will.
They won't. We've been asking them to do it for months, and they don't. They're lying again, saying, just open up the government and we'll let that go ahead. 114% is how much those premiums are going to go up.
It's your program. You guys set the date for it to eclipse.
Are on it.
God bless her. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she sits there and just keeps going when you got Jesse Waters and Gutfield or whatever his name is over there, just chiming in with nonsense. And then here's Chris Cuomo holding another person accountable.
What percentage do you think of people that you serve are on Medicaid?
You know, Chris, I can get back to you with that number.
No, it's not a gotcha. It's not a gotcha, but is it a significant is it a significant portion, or is it the minority?
You know, I'm not sure. I want to give you a right answer. I don't want to just throw anything out there because that's not how I operate, but I'll get that back to you.
Yeah, no, it's not a gotcha. It's just context.
That was Scott Turner, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, which usually works with people that are lower income in terms of housing. And Chris Cuomo was asking him, do you think most of the people you work with are on Medicaid? And he goes, I got to get back to you on that. Chances are many of them are, and many of them are going to be hurt by what the Republicans are trying to do, which is increase their insurance cost. And here's Dana Bash on CNN talking to Mike Johnson.
You mentioned $1.5 trillion. $1 trillion of that is to reverse Medicaid cuts that you put in the big, beautiful bill.
Medicaid reforms, not cuts.
Well,
now don't take my word for it.
It's less spending.
Don't
you
take
can call
my word
it what
for
you
it.
want.
The CBO, Congressional Budget Office, which everybody cites and CNN does all the time as the neutral arbiter of all these things, they came out with a report on August 25th, just several weeks back, and they said, you know what happened in that big, beautiful bill, this is what we project. It's going to save Medicaid. It's going to strengthen Medicaid. Why? Because they CBO, not Republicans, CBO said 2.3 million improper enrollments are involved in Medicaid right now. What is that? Illegal aliens, young able-bodied men without dependents who are riding the wagon and should be working instead. Our legislation strengthens Medicaid because we kick those people off. They were not entitled. Medicaid is intended for U.S. citizens who are young, pregnant women, disabled, or elderly, not these other categories.
But once this goes into effect, which is after the midterms, people will feel cuts who are not necessarily...
Yeah, those young able-bodied men who are sitting at home playing video games? That's a big portion of it.
Not just them.
Not cuts, reforms. That's what Republicans call cuts now, reforms. And there's Mike Johnson lying about these illegal aliens who are getting health benefits, which they're not, but they continue to do so. And who's it going to hurt? Let's look at it.
But I will say that the president's own pollster, Trump's own pollster, is saying that Republicans will lose support if they do not extend the health care subsidies. So 8 in 10 Americans actually believe that those subsidies are valuable and worthwhile. So I would just caution Republicans, the longer this goes on and people start to see their premiums increase, which will come in the next month, they will figure out how much their premiums will increase. They will start to lose support, and that will really impact in 2026. And I just want to comment on one thing that we talked about right before the press conference. Is illegal immigrants do not get federally funded health care. So that is a lie that is being spread by Republicans.
And there you have it once again. Illegal immigrants are not getting federally funded health care. It is a lie being spread by Republicans, but they keep saying that that's what the Democrats want to do. They say that the Democrats want to give health care to illegal immigrants. They want to give health care to lazy young guys sitting at home, and that's not what's going on. The fact is that anybody who's getting federal health care is someone who is either a citizen or is here legally. They might be here on asylum. They might have some kind of temporary protection status, but that's how you can get federal health care. And unless if you go to an emergency room has to handle anybody, no matter what your citizenry is, they handle anybody. But what we're talking about right now and what's going on is in that big, beautiful bill, the Republicans tried or have said they're going to be cutting Medicaid, and they're cutting benefits, Affordable Care Act benefits. And they've hated the Affordable Care Act from the beginning. We all remember when Obamacare passed, they tried to get rid of it. Then Trump 1 tried to get rid of it. That famous video of John McCain going like this and keeping this health care. This is for people who can't afford health care through work or other means, and so they get health care. What a crazy concept to give health care to people that can't afford it. And now Republicans are saying, you know what? We are going to increase the costs of that health care. And that's what she was just talking about right there in the analysis, where she said that once people start seeing their health care costs go up, they're going to be like, wait a minute. So they did raise the price on us. The same way Trump had said that day one, he's going to bring egg prices down. He's going to bring prices of everything down. And we saw inflation keep moving up. We saw prices keep moving up because of his jumbled tariffs. And here we are now with this government shutdown. Democrats are making a good point, which is to say, guys, you need to subsidize this health insurance for these people that need it. And Republicans are saying, we will subsidize it in December. Trust us. That's what that guy Jesse Waters was saying earlier when he was talking to Jessica Tarlov on Fox, because Tarlov was saying, you guys have been saying that you're going to fund it, but we can't trust you. And the truth is, we really can't trust them in this case. Now, there's a lot of repercussions with this government shutdown. Trump is saying he's going to take advantage of it to just fire people, because currently people are going to be furloughed. Federal workers will be furloughed. But he said, I'm going to fire people in agencies that the Democrats want. And so he's going to use it as a means of firing more people, the same way he did with his Doge, where he fired people, because what they ultimately want is for there to be smaller government, less regulation, less people overseeing any kind of corruption, and they can just have all the power. That's ultimately been what this move from Project 2025 and from the Heritage Foundation has been, to strengthen the executive. And so here we are now in a situation where Democrats kind of had to make a choice. Do they fund this bill and let these guys continue and promise that they're going to give subsidies for the Affordable Care Act in December, or do they fight it here? And they're fighting it here. And now the question becomes, who's going to be able to spin the best to show whose fault it really is? Let's not forget that Republicans hold the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Donald Trump famously said that when there's a government shutdown, the president should be held accountable because he is supposed to bring people together and make that deal. He actually said that. And now he's saying, oh, it's not my fault. It's the radical left. They keep saying radical left. Matter of fact, I want you to Google HUD secretary, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. When you go to their website, the first thing that comes up is this radical left to shut down the government. So they are playing that blame game, and they're saying it's because the radical left wants to subsidize health care for illegal immigrants. That's just not a thing. You saw Mike Johnson try to spin that and say, oh, this is, we're doing reforms to get illegal aliens off, to get these young people off their butts. And again, that's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. What they do is they find like one anecdotal thing where somebody ended up getting health care that wasn't qualified for it, and then they say, see, that's what's happening. But that's not what's happening. It's a game that they're playing. It's an argument that they're putting forward. I believe that their supporters are buying into that argument. But as Jessica Tarlov said, once these healthcare costs start to go up, many of the people that are going to be affected are the constituents of MAGA, because they're the ones who count on this kind of subsidy, healthcare subsidy, because a lot of them are in poorer counties and poorer states, and they depend on this healthcare. The same healthcare that originally the GOP had convinced these people that they should be angry about. They had people in the streets protesting, I don't want healthcare. What are you doing with your communist healthcare? Then it came around, they're like, okay, I got healthcare. Now they're trying to take it away, and they're going, oh, why are you taking it away? that lady that you saw on Fox at the end there, she was saying that something like 8 out of 10 Americans believe that the cost of healthcare should not be increased, Medicaid should not go up. And yet the big, beautiful bill, that's what it did. The big, beautiful bill is cutting benefits for the poor in order to give a tax break to billionaires. Plain and simple. That's it. And that's been the whole long game the whole time. This whole thing about tariffs. Oh, tariffs will pay, is going to enrich us. That's what's going to happen. Tariffs will enrich us. Well, tariffs are something that you put on this country, and then when the country sells this product to one of our companies, that company has a choice, either lose money or increase the price. What do you think they're going to do? Increase the price. And who do you think pays that? We do. So ultimately, we end up paying that tax in the long run. And the idea was that somehow these tariffs are going to enrich the country, which they're not. Look at the farmers right now with the soy, I believe the soybeans and China. Farmers used to sell it to China, and China's not buying it from the American farmers anymore. Matter of fact, I think they made some kind of deal with Argentina where we are subsidizing Argentina to then sell, and then they're selling their soybeans to China. And what the administration is saying that because our farmers are suffering, we're going to end up bailing them out. So they basically did a tariff to raise the cost for China, and then these farmers, American farmers, weren't able to sell their product, and now we're just going to take any money that might come from those tariffs and bail out the farmers. So it's really nonsensical, and it's really just all show. The other thing to note is the Doge cuts. The Doge cuts were also all show. Elon Musk famously said he's going to cut $2 trillion from the federal budget, from the federal deficit, and he cut, a few hundred billion or something, which sounds like nothing, but it's a lot. But it's still not $2 trillion. And again, that was a situation where they said, we're going to cut the costs of government. Therefore, we can afford this big, beautiful bill and the tax cuts we're going to give to billionaires and corporations. So the game keeps going on, and now it's the blame game. Whose fault is the shutdown? I feel that the Democrats need to stick with their program and try to get the Republicans to guarantee that in this budget that the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act will not go up and that people will not end up paying more for their health care. And truly, the Republicans, if there's a strategist there, should be thinking about that, because ultimately, people feel it in their pocketbook, and they're going to feel it when these increases come up, and they're going to go, wait a minute, I thought they said they care for me. They don't care for you. They don't care for you. What they care for is their bottom dollar and enriching their donors, which is those billionaires, the tech billionaires. And so they give them tax breaks, and they turn around and they want to increase your health insurance costs, and they want to hold you hostage with this government shutdown. And now Trump is saying he's going to take advantage of it to cut programs he doesn't like. So it's a really, really dirty game. And I'm just hoping that the Democrats are up to arguing the way we saw Jessica Tarlov do at the top there, and pointing these things out and how ridiculous it is, and how ridiculous Mike Johnson is when he says that this is to take away health care from illegal immigrants. By the way, there's no more illegal immigrants. They deported all of them. So who's benefiting from this health care? You tell me, Mike Johnson. Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a page right here on YouTube. Give it a look. At it, at Maz Jobrani. I post stand-up comedy. Let me know you found me on Rebel HQ, and I hope to see you soon.